Well, hello everybody, it's your boy! And today, I'm going to be talking about a interesting topic that I keep seeing popping up in YouTube comment sections all the time, and it kind of worries me a little bit. And I'm talking about vigilantism. Yeah, I see quite a few people on the anti-SJW side of things really advocate for vigilante justice, usually against other types of vigilantes like Antifa. Now, yeah, I know that they employ vigilante tactics. They're using what can really be described as terrorist tactics against their political opponents for whatever reason. We all know those reasons, but that doesn't mean necessarily that we should be doing the same tactics against them. And I'll give you a few reasons why and try and keep this short and as succinct as possible, and maybe eventually I can expand upon this further in another video. The first thing is, we'll go down a rocky road, the slippery slope, I guess one could argue, if we start doing what they do. So first things first, okay, we're using violence against other violent people. I guess it's okay, and I'll concede this point, when it's self-defense, when you've got your backs against the wall and they're coming at you first. But when we're actively going out there to the protests that they're going to and attacking them before they even lay a finger on other people, well, what's stopping some other people who are engaging in this violence to think, well, why not go and attack people we assume might be Antifa or harbouring Antifa or aren't Antifa but could become Antifa? They could be the non-violent wing of the far left. Let's go and attack them, because is that not how Antifa began itself? What's stopping a group of people either on the left that don't like Antifa or on the right performing their own kind of version of Antifa and going out to left-wing protests and doing the exact same thing, trying to shut them down? We know it's possible. It has happened in the past. So, again, we'd end up going down this road where we become the enemy we don't like. Second, it doesn't really help law enforcement. I mean, part of the reasons why for a long while, and in certain states in America and certain countries in Europe, apart from Spain, from what I can gather, there's probably others, they are being held back by their governments, by their councils, by their leaders, and just let Antifa run riot and hurt whoever they want to hurt. This will just compound their problem even further, because now they've got two armed groups, two violent groups that they have to deal with. Who's to say that they won't be told to back off from the group that is perceived to be the right-wing belligerents and are told to go in with their batons and attack you? We know about this bias. We know why certain police forces in the US, particularly in democratic states or cities, they are being told to hold back for political reasons. They won't really need to do that in these cities if right-wing Antifa type groups end up doing that. Plus, they won't be dealing with Antifa, so Antifa will still be around to hit any of the unarmed protesters that aren't part of the violent wing. So you're expounding on the problem there. Another thing is, linked to the law enforcement angle, is it's just stopping the police from doing their role. It's undermining them. It's undermining the law of the land, the law that we should follow, so that we don't hurt other people. The police are there for a reason, and one of their jobs is to make sure that nobody's hurting each other. To make sure that protests, even though they failed at Charlottesville, which is more down to the planning by the mayor than it necessarily was down to the local law enforcement, their jobs is to deal with violent people, not us. Yes, we can use it in self-defense. They're okay with that, but we're not supposed to get out there with guns or whatever we have available to us and go out and kick butt. We're not Batman. We're not Superman. We're just normal people. Yes, some of us are trained to some extent with firearms or hand-to-hand combat, but again, that's going to make things worse, and we're criminals. You're not supposed to do that. If anything, we should be trying to empower law enforcement. We should be trying to get the shackles off so they can do their jobs and prevent people from getting hurt, to do what they should be doing, which is segregating two rival factions that hate each other and could potentially fight each other, like in a football match. This is what they should be doing. We should be allowing them to do that. This should be mandatory. The police should be at every protest making sure nothing bad happens, and that if they do encounter Antifa or other groups like them, well, they get what's coming to them. I mean, just look what happens when Antifa faces the police. They back down. Even if the police aren't in riot gear, they still back down, because the police will use non-lethal means to break them up, to scatter them and arrest them. And when they do use something with riot gear, like you've probably seen on Sargon's Thinkery channel, when they charge them down that alleyway in full riot gear, they run away. They're not afraid of normal people. They're afraid of the police, because they know the police are their biggest threat. not Nazis. So empower the police, make sure they can do their jobs, and we can probably deal with this threat a lot better than doing it ourselves. Because if we deal with it ourselves, we go down that path towards eventually forming our own little Soviets, or whatever the right-wing equivalent is, and potentially people can get killed over this. I mean, there's a reason why lynchings happen in America, because of vigilantism. That's why. As well as the racism and shit. But I'm not trying to compare the reasons why or anything like that. I'm just comparing the vigilantism. And also, it just further divides the countries that we live in. Because if we're all fighting each other, we're not getting anything done. We're not making any productive talks. We're not getting anything productive done. We're just hurting each other. And it creates further divides, more polarisation. And I just don't see how that's healthy for a society. It isn't healthy for society for a bunch of groups to be fighting each other while we're trying to get things done. When we're trying to have a discussion, it just derails everything. It creates turmoil. We don't want countries that used to be stable becoming chaos. We don't want them to become these almost anarchic societies where people are ignoring the law and taking it in their own hands and enacting justice, and ignoring the courts and ignoring the police. And we can see that this will end up becoming, well, I think this person is that, therefore they should be getting my baseball bat in their face, because I don't know if they're going to attack me or not. I don't know what they think. I'm just going to assume. We don't need that. We really don't. And anyway, that's all I've got for this video. Sorry it might be really short, but that's really all I could really think of at the moment, at this point in time. Feel free to say some things in the comments about what I could add in a future video about this topic, because it's quite an interesting topic, and I really do think that advocating vigilantism really is going to hold people back, and it can be used against them, because then people just point, oh look, they're violent reactionaries, they're violent ideologues. We can't stand for this now, can we? Even though it's the violent ideologues or the people who are backing these violent ideologues saying this. But again, you know what they're like. It's only okay when they do it. And I think normal people are more likely to see this evidence and think, oh, well, maybe those people have a point, when they don't, because they're hypocrites. But anyway, until next time, it's been your boy, and I'll see you later.